Hello everyone. So I wanted to look at some of the people whose bans have been reversed on Twitter and how they've reacted to them. So this has become a bit of a trend. Even before Elon Musk announced the general amnesty, I don't think he's yet enforced it, he was already starting to unban a few people, and of course he had the poll for Donald Trump. But before that he also unbanned a few other accounts, and these were quite prominent accounts. I'm not talking about Kathy Griffin, who he banned himself, but I'm talking about other people, and one of them was the Babylon Bee. Now, again, I don't use, or I've started to use Twitter now, but I hadn't been using Twitter, and so I don't know who this Babylon Bee is. But I've now had a look at some of their content since they've been unbanned, and it's comedy. I think it's actually pretty good comedy. Maybe it's not everybody's taste, but it's political commentary, and it's actually quite unusual in that it's political commentary with a pro-Christian theme. They're not the only people doing it. On Facebook there's a group that also do a similar thing. I'm trying to think what their name is, but and the one on Facebook, at least they were, I think that's right, it's called Woke Jesus, and what it was imagining that Jesus Christ was a progressive leftist, essentially, or a woke person. And so this is quite funny because instead of the actual speeches, there's some new speeches with modern day leftist wokeness inserted, and it's all just pictures taken from, not actually from the Bible, but from interpretations of Bible speeches, what Jesus says, and instead it's got modern day wokeness versions of them in there, and just sort of making it look quite ridiculous and how wokeness is really wrong. And that's sort of their message, and it is quite funny. And if you look at the Babylon Bee though, they are doing it from a different perspective, and they're commenting on current political events, and with primarily a right-sided viewpoint. And yeah, I found it quite funny. And I guess the thing is, I sort of try to wonder why they're banned. Why did they get banned? And I also have to wonder if Woke Jesus has been banned, because I haven't seen any posts from them for a while. And they had a group of accounts that were in a similar ilk. Haven't heard from any of them. And why would you ban someone because of their religious beliefs? Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. It doesn't count as hate speech. I don't think it does. Certainly not in my opinion. These are jokes. Now, yes, the jokes have their political viewpoint smashed into them, and their religious viewpoint. But does that make them bad? I don't think it does. And look, some people don't like political jokes, and they stay away from them, and they don't want to hear them, or they only like political jokes from their particular political persuasion. But done well, good political jokes can appeal to both sides of the political spectrum, or all sides. And I believe I think Babylon Bee is funnier than Woke Jesus, but I found them both to be really good. And I think that they can appeal to both sides of the political spectrum, to all of them. And it's funny. These are insightful, intelligent jokes. These are relevant jokes. And I think these are different sorts of jokes to what we normally hear. So why would Twitter ban something like the Babylon Bee? And if Facebook has banned Woke Jesus, why would they ban that? And your simple answer is, well, they would put it in as hate speech. Is it right to ban them? Well, according to my view as to why you should ban someone, you should ban someone if, number one, the owner doesn't like them. Well, number one, if it's illegal. Certainly wasn't illegal, that's not an issue. Number two, the owner doesn't like them. So if the owner doesn't like them, well, that's fine, and maybe the owner didn't like them. Number three, if some of the administrators didn't like them, who knows if the administrators didn't like them. And number four, if the community voted for not liking them and then the administrators agreed with them. And it seems as if in these cases maybe that was number four, or number five, which is the worst of them, is that a bot or algorithm decided that it was wrong. Who knows if that might have occurred. But when Babylon Bee was unbanned from Twitter, they were like, yeah, we're unbanned. And they made a few jokes about it, about how ridiculous it was for them to be banned. And they were banned for about a year. They were very popular before. They're very popular again. And it just was quite ridiculous for them to be banned. I mean, I guess if it does depend on your viewpoint and who runs Twitter at different points in time. And perhaps that was offensive to the Indian-born Parag, can't remember his name, but the guy who was the CEO or the previous owner, Jack Dorsey. Maybe they didn't like that kind of thing. Maybe they were anti-Christian. But the thing is, even if it was banned by, let's say, user reports, it should have been able to be appealed to the owner. So ultimately, for it to be a lengthy ban, particularly with such a prominent figure, you have to imagine that the owner didn't like it. And therefore the new owner should be allowed to unban them if they do like it. Or even if they just don't know enough to know if it should stay banned. And I think it's really a good move to unban that, and you've seen the reaction to them. And then there was a guy called ALX who also seems to be a bit of a comedian. I don't know what his deal is, I'd never heard of him before. He also seems to be a bit on the right side of politics and seems to have no valid reason to be banned other than being on the right side of politics. And he didn't even say that was why he was banned. He said there was no reason for it. But it's pretty clear he's a little bit on the right. He's not far right by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think Babylon Bee are far right either. I'd say Babylon Bee are low to medium right. They're pretty centrist if you look at it. ALX might be medium right. And they're certainly not far right. And then, who was another one? So, had Rakita Law. That was a false flag banning. Twitter didn't even want to ban him. But he does swear a bit, but that's okay on Twitter. And just a political commentary, a legal commentator. You know, banning lawyers seems a bit strange. Adam Waldman was banned. I don't even know why he was. Was it to do with Johnny Depp or was that unrelated? He's been unbanned. He has made no commentary. We all know why Donald Trump was banned. And I mean, well, why they said Donald Trump was banned. But I don't think that one was legal. The others that I've just mentioned were legal. Because they weren't banning an elected official. We've seen I think it was Marjorie Greene, who was a Republican politician who was voted in, is still a politician. There's no way it was legal for her to be banned. And we've seen the reactions of some of them. Some of them have not commented. So I haven't seen a comment from Adam Waldman. Haven't seen a comment from Donald Trump. Adam Waldman's tweets, you can't easily view them. Donald Trump hasn't even said anything. And yeah, it does seem as if it's heading in the right direction. Now, is he unbanning leftist people? I'm sure he would be, if there was any of them that were banned for being leftist. I don't think there are any. But who knows, maybe there were. And look, is it wrong for Twitter to ban people because they're on the right side of politics? No. Well, it can be. You see, if you're banning someone because you don't like them, that's okay. But if you don't like them because of their political viewpoints, that could be illegal, because that's protected speech. And if you're banning someone because they're an elected official while they're making official statements as an elected official, that's illegal. So Marjorie Greene and Donald Trump and anybody else that's a political figure that was banned in their official accounts, that was illegal. You couldn't ban them. But ALX and Babylon Bee, they could ban them. That was perfectly legal. You could ban Adam Waldman. You could ban Rakita Law. Probably shouldn't, but they could. And that's the thing. So there's a difference between what you can't do and what you probably shouldn't do. And now I know there's probably quite a lot of legitimate bans out there, and maybe we'll find that when this amnesty comes in, you'll find some people that are unbanned that will need to be banned again. And I'm sure there will be some who will need to be banned again, and then they can just ban them. It's not going to be a big deal. But one thing that this does do is that it increases the public faith in them. And we also have the issue of, well, are they going to reveal why Twitter wouldn't allow the Hunter Biden story to run? That was the big story, and yet we've never found out. We found out a little bit from Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg recently, but we need to find out why from Twitter's side as well. It'll be very interesting when we hear it. Anyway, that's it from me. Bye bye.